Have you ever heard the expression text painting? If not, it refers to the ability of composers to create just the right music to convey the meaning of the words that they choose to set to music. Our favorite popular composers are great at doing this, and so are the classical composers. George Marriner Maull here for the Discovery Orchestra. One composer who jumps out at me is George Frederick Handel, and I choose him as an example because so many of us are familiar with his choral music, such as his oratorio, Messiah. But while just about everyone knows the chorus from Messiah known as the Hallelujah Chorus, which we used back in Chat 55, we may not all be as familiar with the rest of this particular work. Text painting. If I gave you the words, the crooked straight, to set to music, think about this. What might you do? What would you do with the word crooked? And how about the word straight? In the aria for tenor from Messiah entitled Every Valley Shall Be Exalted, Handel sets to music a text from the prophet Isaiah. It's a wonderful text in which Isaiah describes how, at a certain moment in time in the future, God will make everything that is wrong with our life here right. This is a sentiment that we can all identify with, right? Whether or not we have a belief in God, just the idea that all of the injustices, all of the unfairness in life will be fixed. To convey this, Isaiah resorts to word imagery, and he writes, "Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill made low, the crooked straight, and the rough places plain." Translation, the playing field is going to be leveled. No more people taking advantage of each other. No more unjust persecution of one group of people by another group. Good behavior will be the rule. But back to the words. Crooked and straight. How are you doing at setting them to music? If you know this aria, you know Handel's simple solution. And if you don't know this aria, here's what he did. The crooked straight. Here's another favorite example of mine from the chorus, All We Like Sheep. Now this text also comes from Isaiah. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. Translation, we as human beings are flawed and self-centered. And just as sheep stray away from the flock and get lost, we too get off the track and get lost in ourselves. So let's take the first words, all we like sheep. What would you do with those words musically if you were composing this chorus? Handel, I believe, gets a little cheeky here. I think he is intentionally being humorous, sort of gently laughing at our human condition. And when I conduct this work, for the sake of the clarity of the words, and to emphasize what I believe is Handel's humorous intent, I have put into the chorus a little separation, a small amount of space between each word. Listen to the Discovery Orchestra and chorus perform the opening of this particular number. Now, the next words. What would you do with have gone astray? Handel has the sopranos stray off in one direction. And he has the tenors stray off in the opposite direction. Now listen to them together. And now to the words, we have turned every one to his own way. Listen to what Handel does with the word turn. Perhaps you remember the musical expression melisma from Discovery Chat 54. How fast can you sing? Handel writes a melisma that is an extended passage of different pitches to be sung on the word turn. Can you detect all of the twists and turns the word turn takes? Of course, at the speed I'd like to conduct this movement, those sheep are twisting and turning at a blurring, dizzying speed. Have a listen. Listen now to Handel's extraordinary ability to paint text with musical sounds in the first part of this chorus. We're going to listen to a nice little stretch. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. Don't stray too far from our Discovery Chats.